Hello friends and welcome. Today's video might be a long one, honestly, but I wanted to hop on the trend of talking about my top 3 favorite products in each category. So I'm going to try to go through them quickly with giving you the necessary details of why I like them, but also not sitting here forever. With that being said, if you do enjoy this video, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. Post every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok as well at JSanchez Beauty. And without further ado, let's just dive right into the makeup. Alright, so let's start with primer. I feel like I've got a good mixture of all these products of like drugstore versus high-end. So I didn't want to do like only drugstore or only high-end or do specifically a certain number of each just because I wanted it to really be, what are my top right now in each category. And again, this is right now because there's a lot of makeup I haven't tried yet, and who knows, I might end up liking other things more eventually in the future. First one is the NYX Angel Veil Skin Perfecting Primer. I absolutely love this. It is an OG. It is such a go-to staple in my collection. I feel like it does a great job of not necessarily hydrating, but it doesn't dry out the skin and it fills in the pores. It really just kind of smoothes everything out. It's a great base for any foundation to go on top of. I've never had an issue with the foundation not laying well on top of this. And it just kind of makes your skin feel good. As long as you've done your skincare and stuff before, which you should always do, no matter what primer. I think it's a really great staple base for any skin type. Next up is the Milk Hydro Grip. I absolutely love, love, love this. If you can't tell, I mean, this is the mini version, but I'm almost out. But it does exactly what it says. It feels nice and cooling and hydrating when you put it on, but then it does start to get this kind of like sticky, tacky feel almost. And not in like a gross way, in like it's gonna grip that foundation. It's gonna stick everything to it and keep you lasting all day long and looking really, really nice. I find every time I wear this, I usually, as long as nothing else went weird and crazy with my makeup routine, I usually always love the way that my foundation looks and it lasts a long time. Lastly is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is a little bit newer to my collection, but ever since I've gotten it, I have been using it nonstop. If you can't tell, I don't know if you can tell because it's a very light color, but I've been digging into this hard, and I feel like it does a great job of smoothing out the skin, giving you that poreless appearance. It doesn't really do anything as far as, moisturization or hydrating or anything like that, so I usually like to combine it with either a really good moisturizer or a more hydrating primer, but I absolutely love it. I find myself reaching for this all the time. Next up is foundation. Now, the first one is the Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I love this. I feel like it just makes my skin look so like naturally flawless. I feel like it does a great job of just kind of making your skin look, I mean, radiant is in the name, but it gives it like a nice and natural glow, not like a greasy, oily, or I just, sprayed myself with glitter kind of glow. It's a very natural lip from within glow, and it just has this gorgeous like sheen finish on your skin. And even if you set it down with powder, which sometimes I do a lot actually, it still looks so, so good. I have no complaints about this foundation at all. It's pretty full coverage as well. It's like a medium coverage, but it's definitely buildable because I like some full coverage. Next up, this is the Pure Cosmetics 4-in-1 Foundation Stick. I never hear anyone talk about this. I only ever hear them talk about the liquid version, which I've never tried. I've never tried the liquid version. But I absolutely love this foundation stick. I was in awe the first time I used it because my skin just looked amazing. Like, even on a bad skin day when I use this, it looks so, so good. Pair it with your favorite primer and you will have absolutely flawless skin, let me tell you. It's super full coverage. They have a great shade range, honestly. It just looks amazing and lasts a long time too. Speaking of lasting a long time, I absolutely love this foundation. This is the Covergirl Outlast Extreme Wear 3-in-1 Foundation. This is intense. It is so full coverage. It lasts an extremely long time, like through anything. And it looks really good on the skin too. Like, I never notice it really attached to any dry spots. It never really fades. It never gets splotchy. It looks so good. And it's drugstore, so. Alright, next up is concealer. First up is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. This is definitely my go-to concealer on an everyday basis. It's a good amount of coverage where it can really cover your dark circles, but it's not like a super full coverage where you risk it getting kind of like cakey or maybe feeling heavy under your eyes. It's lightweight. It's definitely buildable as well. I just find it blends out so effortlessly. I don't have an issue with it really creasing. It feels nice under the eyes. It doesn't feel too drying. It is hyaluronic acid, so I hope not. But I love using this on a no foundation makeup day, or with my tinted moisturizers, or even more of a medium coverage foundation. This is my go-to. Next up is the Wet n Wild Mega Lash Incognito Concealer. This says it's full coverage, but I would say it's more of a medium coverage, which is honestly one of the reasons I like it. I feel like this is another one that just feels really good. It's got a lot of good skincare ingredients in it, and it feels nice under the eyes. It's not too drying. It doesn't really sink into everything. Doesn't get like crepey and crusty and gross. It looks really nice under the eyes. It blends out really well, and I find that it lasts really well too. Last but not least is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I am a huge fan of this one, especially over the original Camo Concealer. I used to love the original Camo Concealer, but I did notice it was a little bit drying, and so I tried the hydrating one, and it is amazing. And then I also noticed that the other one was super drying on me. I was like, wow, I didn't realize how drying it was until I actually used something that was hydrating. Sorry, sometimes I talk a mile a minute. Anyways, this one is great. It is exactly what it says. It hydrates under the eye. It feels nice and lightweight, but it is so full coverage. It blends out easily. This is one of my go-tos, especially for my more full coverage kind of days. Now on to powders. So when I want a easy, fast, travel-friendly powder that I know is going to make my makeup last all day, especially if I'm going to be outside, I go with this guy. This is the Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder. Again, this is like an OG staple. I've had this multiple times in my collection, and it's just a good basic translucent pressed powder. I do believe it comes in a couple shades as well. It's translucent, but it's exactly what it says. It keeps you matte, keeps you locked in. I love this with full coverage looks, especially when I know it's going to be hot outside and I'm going to be sweating or whatever. Even for my dry self, it doesn't dry my skin out at all. And I just love this as a good go-to, and it's travel friendly, plastic, and I think it's like $5. Another pressed powder that I love is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Porous Pressed Powder. I love this powder. I mean, love this powder. It does exactly what it says, Bye Bye Pores. It makes you look so flawless, like you have almost no pores. Like, obviously, if I'm gonna look at you this close up, I might see some pores, but let me tell you, it makes you look so flawless, locks everything in. I don't find that it dries out the skin at all. I absolutely love using that on a regular basis. As far as a loose powder goes, my go-to has always been the Coty Airspun. This is just your classic loose press powder. It sets everything down and really locks it in. I don't think it dries out the skin at all, or at least not mine. I don't think it does anything where it like the IT Cosmetics one where it like blurs out pores or anything like that. It doesn't really claim to do that, I don't believe, but it definitely smooths out the skin and just gives it a nice like set finish. I'm going to skip kind of down the line for just a minute and move on to setting sprays. So as far as a high-end setting spray that I love, this is the Benefit Pore Professional Super Setter Long Lasting Makeup Spray. I love this. I want to get another one because I love the way that this finishes the skin. I feel like it really, not necessarily blurs the pores, but it definitely helps that kind of like smooth, flawless finish. It really locks everything in. It melts everything into the skin, and it does prolong the wear of makeup from what I've noticed at least. Another one that I love is the Physicians Formula by I believe it's Skin Mist. I really like this one. I think it smells really nice, and I do think that it does prolong the wear of your makeup by a little bit. I don't think it's like a 24-hour kind of thing, but I just like the way that it sets everything down and melts everything together. It kind of just helps everything blend all together and not look any like it's muddy or choppy or anything like that. It doesn't leave little splotches on your skin, which is great. And again, the smell, yeah, it smells real good. It smells like vacation, which I wish I was on right now. Last but not least for my setting sprays is the classic Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is the mini version. I love this one primarily because of the continuous setting mist, so I don't have to worry about it splotching on my skin, but also I feel like it does a great job of kind of melting everything into the skin as well and keeping it long lasting. I know I'm kind of using the same wording, but there's those are the reasons that I love setting spray in general. Melt everything together into my skin and keep it long lasting. Isn't that what we look for in a setting spray? Well, I find that in this. Moving on to more face products. On to bronzers. First up is the e.l.f. Putty bronzer. Now, yes, this is newer to my collection, but I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I've used it a lot, and honestly, I have never really been a big cream bronzer person. They just kind of made me nervous, and I wasn't sure if I would blend them out and they would look good. This makes it super easy. The formula blends out effortlessly. I love this shade. This is the shade Tan Lines. It's a great color for my skin tone, and I believe they have a pretty good shade range as well. I think the formula is easy to blend. It's smooth. It just kind of like melts into the rest of your makeup really nicely, and I find that it doesn't get muddy or choppy, and you can put powder over top of it and it still is pretty vibrant and lasts a while as well. Next up, this is the Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade Soleil. I love this bronzer because I love a good glowy bronzer, and this has like kind of like gold flecks like throughout it, but it's not glittery, so it's not chunky, and when you apply it to your skin, it just gives it this nice like effortless like summery bronze glow. I don't know if you can tell on my finger, but it is so pretty. This is like my go-to bronzer. I think just being that baked formula with those gold flecks in it, it just kind of gives it that effortless, like lit from within kind of glow. Lastly, this is the Alamar Cosmetics Brighten and Bronze Complexion Trio. I'm in the shade Fair Light, and you can't tell I love this palette, especially that, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about bronzer. I love this color bronzer. I love the formula. It's a powder, but it's like a creamy powder, if that makes sense. And I use the deeper one to kind of contour, but I absolutely love this palette. It really blends into everything so nicely. It being not like, since it's not a drier powder, it's more of like a creamy powder. It just melts into the skin so well on top of like your foundation and everything. I absolutely love the way that this looks on my skin, and I'm going to be sad when it's out because I already want another one for the brightener. On to blush. First up is the Essence Satin Touch Blush. This is in the shade Satin Love. I love this formula, and I especially love this color. This color is so good for like just a natural blush. Nothing that's too bright, too vibrant. Just kind of gives you that natural flush look. And it being a satin finish, it is like a very soft powder. It doesn't feel like it's drying at all. And I just absolutely love the color of it. I don't know if you can see that swatch right here, but the color is just such a natural flush. If you're someone around like my skin tone, maybe a little lighter, maybe a little darker. Like I said, it's a nice soft powder, so it's not super drying. It doesn't look chalky. It blends nicely into the skin. This is my go-to everyday blush. I'm also obsessed with the Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten in the shade Tropic Hues. I love this for like summery looks. This is similar to the Milani bronzer, where it kind of has like gold flecks throughout it in the color. But it's a very soft pressed powder, and it just has this gorgeous like sheen to it where it doesn't look glittery, it doesn't look shimmery or sparkly. It just gives your cheeks this nice glow, like lit from within glow. Lastly, this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush. This is in the shade Mood Exposure. I do love this shade, but that's not the reason this is one of my favorites, because this is more of like a purpley kind of blush, which I only use for like specific looks, but I love this formula. It's kind of similar to the Laura Geller, and where it kind of has this just like natural sheeny glow to it. This one's not as glowy as the Laura Geller one, but it gives your skin a nice like natural sheen to where it just kind of makes it look more plump and healthy and glowy and hydrated. First up is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is in the shade Be My Highlight. I love this because it is an easy everyday highlight where it just gives you a little bit of a natural glow. Just kind of makes your skin look a little bit brighter rather than kind of being that like ba-bam. I don't know if you can see right there, but it's not like a ba-bam, like, oh, turn and it's like, ah, like, no. It's more of just like, oh, she looks so naturally glowy and like dewy or whatever. It's a very natural lit from within glow. Seems to be the theme with a lot of these products. Next up, this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Champagne Pop. I like the Becca formula a lot, which makes me really sad that they're going out of business. I'm going to need to try and stock up as soon as possible. But I mostly love this shade in particular for, I feel like if you are my skin tone or like a little bit deeper, a little bit lighter, this would be such a nice like natural colored highlight. It's a nice, I mean, it's called Champagne Pop. We're all familiar with this, I'm assuming. But it's just a natural, like, nice, not too, like, yellow gold, not too white gold. It's just that perfect natural gold. And the Becca formula makes it really melt into the skin and not look super powdery or chunky. It just kind of looks very nice and glowy. Last but not least, this is the Balm Cosmetics Mary Luminizer. I absolutely love, love, love this. I love the shade. It's perfect for my skin tone to be like a little bit brighter than the Champagne Pop. It's like just a hair lighter, so it gives it a little bit more pop to the cheekbone. But the formula is such a soft, creamy pressed powder that it really melts into the skin. It blends effortlessly into everything, and it just makes your cheekbones just pop. Moving on to the eyes. Why am I out of breath from running up and down the stairs? Had to bring the dogs in. It is way too hot outside for them to just be chilling out there all day. Alright, eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadow palettes are 1000%. If you know me at all, you know they are my favorite makeup products in the world. Therefore, they were the hardest to narrow down to 3. So, you know I love these if I had to narrow them down to 3. Okay, that's all I'm saying. First up is the Colourpop Going Coconuts 9-pan eyeshadow palette. I am obsessed with this. The quality is so good. I love the mixture of mattes and shimmers. Everything you need is in this palette. Anyways, everything you need is in this palette. The only thing that's really missing is a black, but I honestly think it's not a necessity as far as this palette goes. This is the perfect everyday palette for literally anyone. You can get gorgeous all matte looks, gorgeous shimmery looks. I think this is a great bridal palette. The shades are perfectly neutral where they're not too... Becca likes this palette too, apparently. They're not too warm and they're not too cool. They're right in the middle and they're so flattering. Every look I create with this palette, I am not disappointed. Another Colourpop palette. This is the Colourpop California Love palette. This is one of their 12-pan palettes. This palette gets a lot of love. Now, this is for my friends who like the neutrals on the warmer side. I am obsessed with warm tone neutrals, especially now that we're getting closer and closer to fall. I'm excited, so you might see some fall tutorials coming up soon just because all I want to do is deep fall warm. Ugh, love one of those looks so bad. So, anyways, love this palette. I love the color story. I love how easily blendable everything is. This is probably my favorite gold shade like on the planet. And I used to be obsessed with Honey Baked by Urban Decay. It's in the Naked 2 palette. But this one, I think, has trumped it. Honestly, I love it. Everything is so soft and buttery and blendable. Everything just looks so good every time I use this palette. Last but certainly not least is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This is a staple. This is an OG. And if you can't tell, it goes in themes with I love my warm neutrals. I love these for like every day when I don't really want to think too hard about my eyeshadow, you know. But these shades blend. I'm trying not to let this little thing fall out. These shades blend so gorgeously together. I love every look I create with this. I tend to really gravitate towards the mattes in this. And then I do love the shimmers. These two right here. They're so beautiful and they're so soft. Like the second that you put your finger in it, it's so soft. But it's not so soft where it's like fall out everywhere, you know? But they blend effortlessly together. They work so well with other palettes and they just look so good on the eye. Bless you. On to eyeliner. Now, these are my top 3 and they're honestly all my top 3 for pretty much the same reasons. They're dark, black, matte. I don't find them skipping over everything, you know, if you have glitters or anything like that. So this one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Liner. I love this one. Specifically, I love the brush on this. It's very flexible, which helps it kind of like go with the natural contour of your eye. Like I said, very, very black, dark. It dries down matte. It's the one that I used today. Please excuse my lopsided wings. You know, even the best eyeliners can't help me get those even every time, okay? I'm personally more into the felt tip liners over brush tip. I do love the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof eyeliner as well. This is another felt tip one that is like a staple. It's an OG go-to product. As well as the Benefit Roller Lash Eyeliner. I absolutely love this one. I need to buy full size. I just love that it's a really good size brush tip. Well, it's a felt tip, but a good size applicator. And it comes to such a good, like, narrow point that you can really get in there and follow the contour of your eye. Love. Now for mascara. I am someone who has about 0 natural lashes. They're thin. There's not a whole lot of them. They're not very long. They're, you know, they're just nothing special. They're very meh. That's the only word I know how to describe them. So one of my favorite mascaras is the Benefit They're Real Magnet Mascara. I always want to say magnetic, but it's magnet, but I don't know. I really, really like this one. This is one that I used today, and I know it's hard to tell because, like I said, I don't really have a whole lot of lashes. That is, it is. But it coats them really nicely. It gets them nice and black. It gives them a little bit more length. I should have curled my lashes today, but I forgot. But it gives them, it doesn't really give them too much volume. It gives them a little bit of something extra, but I wouldn't say this is a voluminous mascara. I would say this is more of a lengthening mascara because it does definitely give my lashes a lot more length because they're short and stubby and tiny. So another one that I definitely like that lengthens my natural lashes and doesn't necessarily give them too much volume, but a good little like oomph, is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara. I really like this one. This has been my go-to a lot lately. I find myself constantly reaching for this one on a regular, everyday basis because it just gives my lashes a little something extra. Nothing too crazy. It doesn't get really clumpy or anything like that. It's just a nice, good lengthening mascara. And of course, the OG staple, the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. I absolutely love this mascara. It does give me volume. It does give me length. I mean, it's not a magic worker, but it's pretty darn close for someone with little tiny eyelashes like me. I also really like the wand on this one because it's a bit thicker. It's kind of like the Too Faced Better Than Sex one. I just like the thicker bristles on the lashes. I do like the brush on the other two, but I find that the one on the Benefit one, this isn't great for my lower lashes because I literally have no lower lashes, but it does work really well on the top lashes. Next up is brows. First up is, this is the NYX Fill-In Fluff Brow Pencil. I use the shade Ash Brown. I really like this one because I like the shape of it. This is the one that I go to when I'm like, I need to be super fast, get those brows on, go. Because the shape of it is pretty good size. I'm almost out. It's a good shape to where you can just go super quick. It's kind of like the ABHI, the definer one, not like the pencil one. Because it's got that like triangle shape with a point. You can really get up in there. It's a good consistency too. It's not too waxy, but it's also not too emollient where it just kind of like slips and slides everywhere. And surprisingly, I do like this little brush on the other side. I didn't think I was going to when I first tried this product because I'm so used to a spoolie on the other end, but I do feel like it blends it and makes it look a little bit more natural. Next up is the Colourpop Brow Boss Eyebrow Pencil. I use the shade Brunette. This is my favorite as far as like thin pencils go. This is another one that I feel like the consistency is really good. This one's a little bit more waxy than the NYX one, but I like it. I feel like it lasts a long time and it's easy to blend out into the brow, and I feel like it looks natural and not too thick or anything like that. Last but not least, you already know that this one is my favorite. This is the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. It is the one that I use today. I'm obsessed with this product. I have talked about it a bunch before. I made a whole TikTok about how I use it. It just makes your brows look so effortlessly natural. It doesn't look like they're blocks. You can easily blend it out. I was so nervous to try a pen, and I am so glad that I did. Last but certainly not least is lip products. Now I didn't want to go too in depth and be like my favorite glosses, my favorite blah, blah, blah. I just kind of wanted to talk about a few different products for different reasons. So first up is lip liner. This is my favorite lip liner formula at the moment, and it's the Colourpop Lippy pencils. I love this specific shade. This is BFF3. But this is definitely my favorite formula as far as lip liners go. They glide so effortlessly on the lips. You can blend them into lipsticks, or this is the shade right here. They blend so nicely into lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, glosses. They just look so good on the lips, defining it. You can fill it in, and it looks great. They don't dry your lips out. They help kind of block from bleeding, and it's my favorite lip liner formula at the moment. A formula that I love as far as like an everyday easy, I'm not really wearing a lot of makeup, I don't want a super bold lip or anything like that, is the Colourpop Just a Tint. This one is my favorite shade, and it is the shade Rise and Shine. It's a nice like peachy. I love it for summertime. It looks really intimidating, but like when it goes on your lips, it kind of like shears out, obviously, and it gives you just kind of a nice vibrant look to the lips. It's great for summer. This is my go-to lip during the summer. Just kind of throw it on with every look. Lastly, this is my favorite lipstick combination. This is the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte, and this is in the shade Wifey, and then this one is the Too Faced Melted Matte in the shade, I think it's Holy Chic. I love this lip combination. For me, this is my perfect nude lip combo. I love that it dries down matte, so it lasts a super long time. It doesn't really transfer. I just love the way it flowers my lip. This is a lip combination I wore on my wedding day. This is a lip combination I wear anytime I like really want to look nice. When I just want a new lip, this is it. This is what I go for. Holy wow, that was a lot. That was a lot of filming, and this is going to take me forever to edit, but I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did enjoy today's video, please hit that subscribe button down below and join the family. It definitely helps me out, and I love to make new friends in the makeup community. So check me out on Instagram and TikTok at JSanchez Beauty. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!